Okay, in this short video, we're going to show you how to access and navigate around your modules. So in the last video, I showed you how to get to this point for the first time, going through Start Here, Syllabus, Course Schedule, Instructor Information, and then Certifying at the First Things First tab. If you don't see anything for each text chapter in the learning modules, then you need to make sure that you've clicked this Mark Reviewed button to do so. Once you click that, all of the modules will appear, and I'll scroll down now to show you. Each module is associated with a chapter in your textbook. The McGraw-Hill Connect ebook is going to be accessed. Now, common question, do I start in Connect or do I start in Blackboard? I'd recommend you start in Blackboard because all of the resources are actually in Blackboard except for the reading that you'll do and the practice quizzes you'll do in Connect. If you just look at Connect, which we'll see in a moment, you'll notice that you actually don't have all the other things like assignments, discussion topics, and quizzes inside Connect. So you'll have to come back to the module in Blackboard. So I recommend you start here. Once we land into a learning module, the learning modules have the same format essentially throughout the course. There may be differences between modules in areas, for example, discussion versus a pronunciation assignment. So those things may differ, and each module will have a little bit different resources in them, but they'll all end with a quiz and have optional and required information listed. The required information will never say anything other than its title. If it's optional, it will be listed optional first and then the title of that page. So this is the first module, and we have our synopsis here. As we scroll down, we can see that we've got our learning objectives that are listed through this area, and then a nice to-do list that we can use to complete the module before the due date. As you go through and navigate, you can click on the table of contents links on the side, or you can move through with this button that will forward and backward navigate you through the pages. In this example, there's a discussion that will be completed in the first week. I'm not going to get into showing you how to do that just yet. This video is more on accessing the module, but you'll want to click to launch here or up at the top where it says Open Discussions Class Introductions here. Those are both quick links to get you directly to the discussion from the module. Okay, this page here is going to be in the modules, and it's essentially a little bit of a introduction to the chapter that you're going to read for that module. Now, this is just the introduction, so it's going to list our objectives and general purpose and synopsis of the textbook chapter. But to access the textbook, we're going to move forward to the next page. The textbook, again, is in our McGraw-Hill Connect account, and you'll have to have already connected that account to Blackboard. If you haven't done that, then you'll need to do it before accessing the page, and you can do that by going back to the Syllabus tab and reading through the Connect tools that we have provided for you in document form. If you've already associated, then you can click on the Click to Launch button, and that's going to take us to the Connect course shell. Okay, this is the overall view that we have when we log into the Connect website. We can log directly into if we need to, but we can just use the method I just showed you by clicking on the Learn Smart section inside each module in Blackboard. Once you land into that chapter, you'll see a number of features we'll go over in just a minute, but this is essentially the overall page. You can see that we've got all the chapters of the textbook represented here. We've got additional tools on the side that you can explore. I'll let you explore them on your own. And then we have an area for media banks, so we can find recordings, pronunciations of some terms, and even recorded lectures. Additional practice terms will be listed here as well. And when we're ready to access our textbook and read the chapters, we're going to click on this arrow, and it will tell us a few things before we even begin. It's going to tell us how long it should take us to read the assigned reading. There's always more reading, that's the optional stuff, but the assigned reading should take about 33 minutes for this chapter. It does have the Learn Smart component engaged, and so that's where we earn our points for this part of our grade. We earn our points by reading through the material on the ebook and then completing the practice questions at the end of each chapter. To get started with your chapter, you can click Begin. Now, you don't have to do this all in one sitting, so if you can only read 15 minutes worth before you have to move on to something else, that's perfectly appropriate, and you can come back and access it when you're ready. It takes a moment to initialize and download the chapters at first. And let me show you the overall navigation. The practice button down here in the corner is where we're going to be practicing some of the questions that we have, and that's where we'll earn our points for this part of our gradebook. We can navigate through areas that we've highlighted, so it makes it very easy to jump to another area. So in this book, highlighting for you is going to be a tool you'll use so that you can easily find parts of the book, almost as if you're putting a tab on the edge or a post-it note on a page inside an actual textbook so that you can easily find it when you're looking for information. So use the highlighter as necessary. The highlighter's on the side here, and you can also make some notes that will be carried with your textbook. Now you can navigate through each chapter by scrolling down here on the side or by entering in a page number here at the top. Now the 450 pages are not necessarily all assigned readings, so don't think that that's what you'll have to be working on in totality. You can work on that in total if you'd like to by doing additional optional reading, but it is not generally necessary in the beginning. On the side here, we see that in the chapter we have sections. So as you're navigating through sections, you can either do so by clicking on the buttons down here at the bottom where it says previous and next section, or you can just scroll through here on the menu to the left side and get to the section that you're looking for. Now to get back to the page that we just saw with all of the chapters listed, you can click in this top area here, and that'll bring down your menu. You can go to the table of contents, so you can navigate to another chapter if you need to. The library, notes and underlines that you created, essentially, and then reports will be accessed here as well. If you need help from McGraw-Hill, you can use this area here for help, but it will not help you necessarily with Blackboard, and vice versa. Blackboard help won't be able to help you with the McGraw-Hill LearnSmart. We're going to exit now the Smart Book after we've done our reading and our practice assignments, and we can now go back to Blackboard as necessary.